there, hello there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond welcoming you to the championship of the Nations Cup. Today we have USA versus England. Now, the reason why England's hosting this event at Wembley Stadium is because of the simple fact that England, in their 3 playoff rounds, had a better record against their 3 opponents than the Americans did. So here's the road to the show. England was the 6th seed, and the US was number 1. Based on how many times a country had a competitor in the final 128-man tournament, which will start up soon, I promise you. That's what happened. England had the 6th most, so England would have to wait. After Germany defeated Jamaica 3-0, Germany would take on England in the round of 16, and England beat them 3-1. In the quarterfinals, England faced Wales, their old home nation rivals, and beat them 3-1, before sweeping Cuba in a shocker 3-0 in the semifinals. Since England only dropped 2 of the went 9-2, they were the better team. So anyway, the Americans, number 1 seed, would wait for the matchup, their round of 16 matchup, and it was Puerto Rico, their rivals, as Puerto Rico took down Canada 3-1. U.S. spotted Puerto Rico 1 match, and they still won 3-1. They would take on Argentina and beat them 3-1 in the quarters. In the semis, they would take on Mexico, their 3rd straight Spanish-speaking country. Now, there was some controversy. There was a controversial tie and a controversial win for Mexico. Sadly, though, that was how good it was, and the Americans won the next 3 fights, didn't make it. No controversy at all. Now, the format is like this. There are 5 fighters. You have to be in 5 or fewer fights to get into the tournament, to be eligible for the Nations Cup. There's lots of players with like 7 or 8 fights that did not do so well, but they are ineligible. Now, because those guys were trying to get into yearly tournaments for the 128-man tournament. Now, if you qualify for the 128-man tournament, you are ineligible to compete in the Nations Cup as well. So anyway, we're at Wembley Stadium. As we all thought, there were rumors circulating that Los Angeles, Caesar's Palace was going to host or Madison Square Garden was going to host the final, but England went with Wembley Stadium, obviously. So there will be an all-female matchup between Christy Folmar and Laura Saperstein, which will not, unfortunately, be shown because that actually has no merit. But because a fight card can't have 5 fights, we got to do this. So the first fight is between David Haye and Sugar Shane Mosley. Cruiserweight versus lightweight. As you can probably guess, they both have competed in the Nations Cup specifically. Wembley Stadium, Jimmy Lennon, your announcer. Herbert Earl, the Canadian, your referee. Sutherland, Hill, and Castilla, your judges. Marcus Heishoint, your ringside expert. So as you can see, this is a tight one. We're going to widescreen today. David Haye, 0-1 from London. 6'3", 210 pounds. The Haymaker, as they will, from London. Hometown favorite, 26-2. Lifetime. Look at all that. WBA heavyweight. Look at the cruiserweight. He has a good resume. He lost to Ralph Ruggiani in Germany's only match. Well, he lost by split decision to him, but he gets this one. Now Sugar Shane Mosley, 2-1. Sugar Shane from Inglewood, California. 5'9", 143 today. He is 46-8-1 in lifetime. Look at this, welterweight and light middleweight belts. Competed in the 92 Olympic trials but didn't qualify. He beat Juan Manuel Lopez in the 2nd round against Puerto Rico. He TKO'd him. He TKO'd Marcos Rene Maidea of Argentina and had that controversial tie with Marco Antonio Barrera in the semifinals. But, you know, it's a different time. Now, let's play. It's a tough way to go, but, you know, this is a tough matchup. England, United States. A lot of people said they could kind of see this coming because, you know, these two are the most successful nations in boxing history. No disrespect to Cuba. Or even Mexico. Round 8. I'll show you some scorecards. Of course, this is 12-round fights. Scorecards say it's going to be Mosley, possibly winning. This is not decided. Round 11. Got some swollen paper fighters. Round 12. Let's see. They're clinching each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have your decision.
Well, not a good round. Well, David Hay may have taken. Hindsight says that Mosley stopped fighting pretty much after the 8th round. But let's see what the real call is. Jimmy Lennon, what do we got? The scorecards are in, and here's the official decision. David says that the United States scores about 115, 134. Hey, ooh boy, that's a big one. Avalon Hill, the United States scores about 116, 113 for Mosley. Oh, we're gonna see a 2-1 decision possibly. And Horatio Castillo, Columbia scores about 115, 114 for. I think it's gonna be for Hay. David Hay. So by split decision, David Hay wins. That's a huge one. Funny thing that the 2 American judges didn't vote for Mosley, but David Hay by split decision. Did they make the right decision? When you look at the facts, I think it was kind of Mosley's fight. I hate to say it, but I think Sugar Shane Mosley got robbed. So point to England. Now the second fight, the middleweight Bernard Hopkins for the U.S. against the heavyweight Gary Mason for the Brits. Jim Fitzgerald, your announcer. Luis Pabon, your referee. Lawrence, Uchi, and Hoyle, your judges. Danny Callahan, your ringside expert. So he's going Bernard Hopkins 3-0, the executioner from Philadelphia, 6'1" and 164 pounds. Today's fight, he is 53, 6-2 lifetime, like in real life. Look at all these things: light heavyweight, middleweight, 20 defenses of the world middleweight title, the oldest to be the middleweight and light heavyweight champion. He was 46 years old when he was the WBC light heavyweight champion, beating Sean Pascal. Bernard Hopkins won by majority decision against Miguel Angel Cotto against Puerto Rico. Unanimous decision against Sergio Gabriel Martinez of Argentina, and a unanimous decision on Fernando Montiel of Mexico. In the other corner, you got Gary Mason from London by way of Jamaica. 6'1", 248 today. 37-1 lifetime. Surprise that he didn't go that far. In real life, he actually, unlike his contemporaries, he actually competed for a spot in the 128-man cup. He beat Gus Lesnanovich before losing to Victor Cordoba by KO. He wasn't needed, and then his only Nations Cup thing has been the quarterfinals against Wales when he TKO'd Nipper Pat Daly. He wasn't used for any other actions, so Mason's kind of raw between. He's kind of raw compared to Hopkins. Alright, so after 8 rounds, it looks like Hopkins is going to win. Mason is not really doing that well fighting, so this might be a American win. We will be tied. So anyway. Mason needs something. I agree with that statement. Mason's damn neat. I think this will probably be a big win. Mason's got a really nice ball.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Game over. And we have a tie. Wow, Hopkins executed that to perfection. I mean, Mason. Well, Hopkins was definitely going to win, so I think it was meant to be. Look at the disparaging numbers. Yep, Bernard Hopkins, executioner, he's 4-0. I feel bad for him because, he would technically be 5-0. But anyway, no. Can't do that. Anyway, next up on the list is Junior Witter, the junior welterweight for England, and the junior lightweight Floyd Mayweather Jr. Oh boy. Americans can come out with these guys. It's surprising how people like Hopkins and Mayweather Jr. never got a chance to compete in the 128-man fight. But there is a silver lining because I will be doing weight division tournaments based on like heavyweights, junior lightweights, and all that. Like have a tournament of champions or something like that. I'll have to make up the list and see who gets into the spots and all of that. But yeah, the 32 greatest in each weight division, and then we'll have a super tournament based on the winners of that. That'll be a different universe in this one, so we'll see. Chuck Hall, your announcer. Michael Griffin, your referee. Ruben Garcia, Louis Murray, and Tyrone Short, your judges. Mark Elwood, your ringside expert this time. Junior winner, 2-0. Junior the Hitter winner from Bradford, which is famous for their stadium fire that cost them in the 1985 soccer season. He's 5'7", 142 today. 41-6-2, light welterweight champion. A lot of British stuff. He TKO'd Gavin Rees of Wales, and he TKO'd Odilon Solis of Cuba. So he's done pretty well. Competed in the last 2 rounds. Mayweather Jr., Pretty Boy Floyd from Grand Rapids, from Las Vegas by way of Grand Rapids, 5'8", 140, 44, and Donut. I don't know why this guy never got into any of the Nations Cups and all that. That's kind of pathetic, don't you think? Well, he TKO'd Carmelo Negron for Puerto Rico. He surprisingly lost a majority decision to Omar Andres Navarez of Argentina. I think that was when the tournament was wrapped up or something. I can't remember. And he won by majority decision against Eric Morales in Los Angeles, taken down Mexico. So we'll see who wins this one.
The judges' votes are in, and here, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner.
Ooh, what a guy here. Oh my God. A bleeding cutting with a red eye, and it's going to be England who takes the 2-1 lead. Junior winner has shocked everyone. Wow. It would have been Mayweather's fight because of the swelling of winter, but man, the bleeding cut. Mayweather said, I could do it, but no. Wow. Junior winner wins. A shocker. I thought Floyd was going to win. Look at the stats. I don't know. Maybe winner might have a case. Well, can England do it? At 2-1, Roy Jones Jr., the super middleweight, one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters ever, will have to face the super middleweight Carl Froch of England. I know his record doesn't look good, So it's either going to be England clinches the Nations Cup on this fight, or we go to the 5th and final fight. Billy Jordan, your announcer. Bella Florian, your referee. Galenia, Hawk, and Hoyle, your judges. Jason Wood, your ringside expert. So we've had a split decision, a TKO a knockout victory, and a TKO victory. So Carl Frock and Roy Jones Jr. To do that, Roy Jones Jr. 2-0. He's Dame Jr. from Pensacola. 5'11", 168 today. 56 and 8. Look at all his fights. Light heavyweight and super middleweight. Remember the 88 U.S. Olympic team winning silver because of the stupid Korean judges and all that. Some kind of thing, all that. Second middleweight and lightweight heavyweight champion to win the heavyweight belt. He KO'd Wilfredo Vasquez Jr. of Puerto Rico. Surprisingly, he was not in the 5-man roster for the Americans against Argentina, but he decisioned Antonio Margarito. I think that was the rubber match of the U.S.-Mexico thing. So Carl Frock, the super middleweight, the Cobra, as they call him, from Nottingham, which had a good soccer team, the Nottingham Forest, back in the 70s. 6'1" and 171 today. 30-2 super middleweight belt. Beat Jean Pascal, Glenn Johnson, Lindsay Bout. So basically, he did pretty good. He got TKO'd by Sven Otke in a qualification for... No, sorry, not qualification. He got TKO'd by Sven Otke for Germany. He TKO'd Percy Jones of Wales, but he got TKO'd by Guillermo Ragadou. And I think that was the first fight, the only fight Cuba won out of the 4. So anyway, it doesn't matter. This one's falling from outside. Roy Jones Jr.'s got to do something. This is a key fight because if the Americans win, we have a tie 2-2. We're going to go to the rubber match. If not, we go to England winning the title. Watching this intensely, just like everybody else. And realize gonna really ruin Brock. Well, the last one for Brock. Nick Jones has got him. This could be trouble for Brock. We might have a win for Jones. Very cautious, victory Brock. Something. Oh, get right on. It's gonna be a problem. No punches.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have your decision.
Looks like we go to the scorecards. And they say, oh, look at all these 10-9s. I think Brock was basically done. Yeah, look how terrible. Well, they were all American judges, but Brock had nothing. What was he doing? He had a chance to give England the Nations Cup, and he basically toyed with Jones Jr., and that bit him in the dust. Brock, look at the punches he's landed. 123 punches. So let's see if I can make... He landed... Let's see here. So, almost as many as jabs and combinations that Jones Jr. had reached. 121. Brock only landed 123 punches. Punching accuracy was terrible. Well, we got the rubber match. We have Amir Khan and Jess Willard. So they decided to go with guys who have not fought before. Well, England said, well, we need a guy for the finisher. And Amir Khan. So Jess Willard is the guy. I can't believe he never got a fight. I can probably guess where this is going to end. Johnny Addy, your announcer. Sergey Kripnanich, your referee. Harris Ramirez and Short, your judges. Don Kloss, your ringside expert. So Amir Khan, King Khan, 1986. So he was born in Bolton, which has a decent soccer team. Arabian skin color, 5'10", 138. His biography, 28 and 3, the light welterweight. He won a silver at the Olympics for England. He didn't compete in any of those tournaments. Jess Willard, the Potawatomi giant from Potawatomi, Kansas. 6'6" and 228 pounds. Man, I can't believe he never got a chance to fight in any of the tournaments. I think he would have got qualified. Biography 26, 6 and 1. So his record isn't really that great. But you never know. Well, he beat Jack Johnson to get the title belt away from Jack Johnson and to make a win for white America. Remember, of the racial issues of the 1910s. And Jack Johnson didn't do enough to be humble as a champion. So that's the problem. But anyway, yeah. Here we go. Fifth and final fight. Who will win the title? Will it be Khan or will it be Willard?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, John's in big trouble. He is in big trouble.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
John's in big trouble. He needs to stay on his feet. He needs to punch quickly. And that's it. Jess Willard TKOs Amir Khan. And with that, the Americans do win. They took the 5th and final fight to do it. The Americans are the Nations Cup champs, as they should be, I guess. Amir Khan was overpowered by Jess Willard. And it was close, but Amir Khan just got in the 5th round by TKO. And Jess Willard wins the Americans the Nations Cup. I figured as much. But England did force the Americans to a 5th and deciding match. So that was good. So yeah, well, it was close. Amir Khan actually didn't. He threw 107 punches and he landed all of them. Wow. But yet Jess Willard knocked him down 3 times in the 5th round. That has got to be the definition of a terrible fight. When Khan thought he had it. And England was going to shock the Americans. But no, Jess Willard. Ooh, my gosh. So the final result of the American Fulmer did beat Saberstein by TKO. But David Hay by split decision, kind of controversial. Bernard Hopkins KO'd Gary Mason in the 11th round. Junior Witter with a TKO on Floyd Mayweather Jr. because of a gushing cut. Carl Froch not really in it against Roy Jones Jr. And Amir Khan having it for 4 rounds, but in the 5th, Jess Willard just boomed him not once, not twice, but thrice. And the Americans are your Nations Cup champs. England is not happy, but come on. Hats off to the Americans. You kind of figured they were going to win. So that ends that. So the next tournament is the 128-man tournament, 4 groups of 32, which will compete to try to become for the final 32-man tournament and to decide to be who's the best of the best, the creme of the creme. Watch it soon, will you? Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.